Long ago, in the great land of Umuneke, there lived a king named Oba Chukwudi. His palace was tall, planted with red earth, and decorated with carving of lions and eagles. People came from far and near to see his words and listen to his wisdom. But my friends, there was one part of the palace no one ever entered. A small wooden door at the far end of the king's chamber. The door was old, yet always locked. The king kept the key close to his chest, tied with a red thread. He never let it out of his sight. Even his queen and his children were not allowed near that door. The villagers whispered among themselves, what could be inside that room? Gold, jewelries, or maybe a spirit lived there. The mistress of the king's secret room filled with air like smoke from a boiling fire. One day, Prince Ifeanyi, the king's first son, he was brave but stubborn, and he could not rest without knowing the truth. Father, he asked one evening, what is behind the door you guide so closely? King Oba looked deep into his son's eyes and replied, my child, do not ask again. That room holds a truth too heavy for you to carry. When the time is right, you will know. But the prince was not satisfied. The more his father warned him, the stronger his desire became. One night, while the moon was full and the crickets sang loudly, Prince Ifeanyi took the key from where his father kept it while sleeping. Quietly, his heart beat fast, so he reached the old wooden door. With shaking hands, he placed the key inside the locked. The door opened. What he saw made his blood turn cold. Inside the secret room were not treasures of gold, not bags of jewelries, but scores, the scores of past kings, lined neatly on wooden. Each score carried a crown, dusty and old. At the center of the room sits a chair, and on it lie a single message carved into wood. Every king must return here. Power does not last forever. The prince, he stood and sternly understood his father's secret was not worth, but the reminder that every rose must die, and one day their hand would join the others in that room. Just then, King Oba appeared behind him. His face was calm, but his eyes were filled with fire. My son, he said, now you know the truth. A king does not live forever. When you take the throne, remember the crown is heavy, but the grave is heavy. From that day, Prince Ifeanyi became humble. He no longer boasts about becoming king. He served his people with kindness, knowing that power was only borrowed, never owned. The next morning, the palace guard find the prince sitting quietly by the palace gates. His eyes was red from sleepless nights. The villagers who passed by noticed his strange silence. Normally, he laughed loudly and boasted of being the next king, but that morning he looked as if a heavy load rested on his shoulder. Queen Ngozi, his mother, came close to him and asked softly, my son, what troubles you? You have been quiet since the roasted crowd. The prince bowed his head and whispered, Mother, I have seen what no eyes should see. Father's secret is too heavy for me. The queen understood at once. She had always known about the room. True, she never entered. He placed her hand on her son's shoulder and said, Then let the secret shape you. A king is not measured by his crown, but by his deeds. From that day forward, Prince Ifeanyi began to change. He visited the farmers in their field, helped widows carrying firewood, and sit with the elders in the evening to hear their stories. The people of Umuneke began to whisper again, but this time with joy. Look at the prince. He is no longer proud. He will be a good king after his father. Years passed. When King Oba Chukwudi grew older and weak, he called his son to his beside. My child, he said, his voice thin like the wind. The time has come. I'm ready to join the others in the secret room. You must lead our people. Tears rolled down Ifeanyi's face. He held his father's hand tightly. Father, I now understand. The crown is not for power but for service. That night, the drums beat across the land. King Oba Chukwudi had gone to rest. The next morning, before the burial, the elders carried his body into the secret room. For the first time, Prince Ifeanyi walked in without fear. He saw the scars again, now joined by the fresh face of his father. The elders turned to him and said, This is the secret of kings. You will sit on the throne today, but one day you too will rest here. And so Prince Ifeanyi was crowned king, but unlike the rules before him, he always reminded himself and his people of the lesson hidden behind that old windy door. Whenever pride tried to rise in his heart, he walked to the secret room, opened the door, and looked upon the scars. The silence of the room spoke louder than any voice. Power fades, humanity remains. Many seasons passed. King Ifeanyi ruled with wisdom, fearless, and a heart filled with humanity. Under his rule, the land of Umuneke blossomed. Harvests were plenty. Peace filled the village, and even the travelers from faraway kingdom came to learn from his way. But time, my friend, is like a river. No matter how strong, no man can stop its flow. One morning, after 40 years on the throne, King Ifeanyi woke up feeling weak. His hair had grown white like cotton, and his hands shook. When he tried to hold his staff, he called his own son, Prince Obinna, to his side. My son, he said softly, I was once like you, strong, bold, and but when I opened the secret room, I learned a truth that shaped my life. Tonight you will see what I saw. That night King Ifeanyi led his son to the hidden door. He opened it and looked back at them, silent but full of meaning. My son, he whispered, one day you will also wear his crown. But remember, it does not belong to you. It belongs to the people. It belongs to time. And when the days comes, your head will join those. Prince Obina's eyes wide open. For the first time, he understood. He held his father's hand tight. Not long after that visit, King Ifeanyi's breath grew slowly, and his eyes closed forever. The land cried, but they also rejoiced, for he had been a king who ruled with humility. The elders carried his body into the secret room, placed it gently beside the skull of his father, and as the door closed, a new chapter of Umuneke began, with Prince Obinna as king, carrying the same heavy lesson in his heart. The people of land often told this tale to their children. The strength of a king is not in his crown. Please like my story, share, comment, and subscribe.